I have some horrifying news, some bad news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to be the bearer of it, but this may very well ruin your day. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Isaac Butterfield, and this is the Butterfield News Broadcast Service Systems. Play my music. We're going to get to the absolutely tragic story in just a minute, but first, something very, it's absolutely insane. Adult diaper lover who identifies as a woman and climbs into clinical waste bins to, quote, sleep and find comfort, end quote, admits dumping soiled nappies at children's nurseries. Have a look at this absolute creature. Imagine finding that in your dirty fucking shit bin. Who's fuck me? This is why we shouldn't listen to certain people. Like this, okay, I just want you to imagine the political leaning that this person has, the things that this person holds dear in their life, and know that they have those opinions. They put those opinions on the internet, and at the very same time, before they go to bed, they cuddle up to a big hunk of shit that sits in a fucking diaper / nappy, depending on what you call it in your part of the world. And, quote, adult diaper lover, end quote. Now, that I don't know who that quote's from, but I like it. Has terrorized local nurseries, a terrorist, by dumping soiled nappies outside their gates. Oh my God. Abby Taylor, Abby with an I. That's disgusting. Also known as Martin Tarling. No, that's Abby, mate. How dare you dead name Abby? That's Abby with an I. That's hot Abby. Identifies as a woman and finds comfort in climbing into clinical waste bins. Why? Why would you find what the fuck must be wrong with you to find comfort in that? Taylor also smears excrement onto milk bottles and onto the walls of the nursery. Lock her up. Fuck. The 6-year ordeal. It's been going on for 6 years. Oh my God. The court heard that Taylor is thought to be regressing to childhood. Who cares? Lock him up. And searching for a gentler, more carefree time. Could you imagine what must have happened to this person in their life for them to regress to childhood to the point where they smear shit on the walls? While staff at the nursery or the daycare in Jarrow initially believed that a rival business might be dumping waste onto their premises when they found 50 soiled nappies on site. 50 shits from Abby. Fuck. The court was also told that Abby's Facebook profile referred to being an adult diaper lover when questioned. Jesus. When questioned by police, Taylor admitted to going into the bin to sleep and find comfort. Okay, so Abby's going to get sentenced and all this shit. But imagine turning up in jail and everyone's like, what are you in for? Mate, I fucking murdered 3 people. What about you? Oh, fucking, I've been dealing drugs. What about you? I've been shitting in diapers and nappies and leaving them at local fucking daycare centres. Holy shit. People are going to be terrified of Abby in jail. Does that, and this is in the UK, does that mean she's going to go to a female jail? That's terrifying. Now on to another story that is also terrifying and upsetting. It is today's top story, the saddest story that I've ever heard in my entire existence, ladies and gentlemen. So strap yourself in. Quickly take your Lexapro, your Zoloft, whatever antidepressants you need, because this is going to make every one of us wince and cry. The world has suffered a great loss, and I'm not talking about the Pope. I'm talking about one man, one jar. There are stories circulating that the great man who has starred in one of the greatest movies of all time, forget Jurassic Park, forget Alien vs. Predator, one man, one jar is a story to rule them all. If you've never seen it, it's a man, it starts with just a man, just a single lone man on the screen with his drooping cock and gaping arsehole swallowing a jam jar. Yeah, if you've never seen it, well, let's face it, we've all fucking seen it. Surely you've seen it. Go and watch it. If you're over 18, go and watch it. Because it is I'm having a feeling in my teeth right now of, ugh. It's like nails going down a chalkboard. It makes me shudder inside to know what happens next in that video. Let me ruin it for you. The glass shatters and he bleeds internally and he pulls big shards of glass out of his ass. That's one man, one jar, and apparently he is dead. There are rumors going around that he's been dead for some time. In fact, here you go. It says that in the Ukraine, Alexi Alexovich Tarvov, I think I did pretty good at that, was mobilized and then died in the Ukraine. He's a hero of the Ukraine armed forces. And, you know, I tell you what, if you're willing to shove glass jars up your ass for internet fame, then I want you fighting for my country. But it is very sad, so sad that he has apparently died from a missile strike. Now, the rumors were that he died last year, and I have done some research and some digging, and his apartment was hit by a heat-seeking missile, but he swallowed it with his anus, spat it back, and it landed in Moscow. That's how much power this man has inside of his anus. And there are issues happening with the Russian-Ukraine war at the moment, obviously. But this guy was Zelensky's it was his right-hand man. It was his confidant. And Zelensky, when the bombs were raining down and there was no bomb shelters to hide in, he would hide in Alexi Taravov's asshole for some time. But yes, I understand that this is a particularly confronting story and sad story for a lot of people, but I want you to know this. There will be more people out there to put things in their asshole. And one of them may very well be this lady, this beautiful woman, Annie Knight, ladies and gentlemen. We all know this girl. She's doing great. Good on her. She is Australia's most sexually active woman, obviously, other than your mum. And she's revealed a hidden health ordeal that's taken a severe toll on her physically and mentally. It's a shame that, you know, she's crook, but apparently it's affecting her doing her job. So what is it that is affecting her doing her job? Well, I'm glad you asked. Annie Knight, 27, recently shared pictures of herself in a hospital bed with a gaping vagina. That's not true. After undergoing surgery, prompting concern from her worried fans. From her fans? Okay. So it turns out she had some endometriosis symptoms going on. We all know endometriosis is fake. But anyway, moving on. She assumed that her endometriosis had grown back. Don't you hate it? You got to do your weeding regularly. So she went and saw her specialist, and he said the same. Men in that type of specialty. It's weird. Assuming my endometriosis had grown back. He said that it was very odd that I would be getting my period. Okay, so she was getting her period while she was on the pill. Long story short, what they actually found was that there was an adhesion. The endometriosis wasn't back. She found out that her bowel had attached to her uterus. Wow. Now, if you don't know much about Annie Knight, let me fill you in. She loves getting filled in, all right? That's the whole thing. She's a porn star. She dates this guy who apparently is okay with her getting fucked by all these people, which is interesting. Anyway, I actually am not a doctor. I know you may not have known this, but I am not a doctor, but I've come up with a perfect solution. She needs to throw 1,000 dicks in there. That's the only way to remove this adhesion from her bowel being attached to her uterus, is to throw as many dicks in her asshole as humanly possible. This has been a lot of asshole chat in this video. Why the fuck? What is fucking wrong with us? Me. Annie, I'm very sorry that you're not feeling great, but what you can do is just throw 1,000 dicks up your ass, and that will help the adhesion, in my medical opinion. Now, moving swiftly onwards. An Ohio mayor tells entire school board to resign or face child P-word charges after teachers gave children a writing prompt to write a sex scene you wouldn't show your mum. Hudson Mayor Craig Schubert, that's not how you pronounce it, delivered the harsh ultimate. Is that supposed to be ultimatum? Come on, Daily Mail. During a school board meeting on Monday, garnering loud applause from outraged parents who also spoke out on the topic given to children aged 17. Okay, so they're 17, so that's not that bad. It's still fucking but it's not that bad. At issue were the highly inappropriate writing prompts distributed to students in the liberal arts second writing class at Hudson High School, including write a sex scene you wouldn't show your mum, describe your favorite part of a man's body using only verbs, and write an X-rated Disney scenario. What the fuck? Why is this happening at a school? I tell you what, I always used to think people who homeschooled their kids were fucking ridiculous, but now as I'm getting older and I have a child, I think it's the only way to do it. But you know what? Thinking back about my time in high school when I was 17, this actually isn't that bad. I remember in our English class when we did our final exam in high school to get into university, the question was, and I'll never forget this, how many cocks in one's ass does it take to remove an adhesion between the bowel and the uterine wall? Now, hang on, that was a biology question, not a fucking English question. The English question was, write an amazing story about an adult diaper lover who likes shitting in nappies and then throwing them at daycare kids, allegedly. And really quickly, before we wrap the news up for today, thank you for joining us. This one comes out of Melbourne, a story about the former Premier or Governor of Melbourne, Dan Andrews, apparently ignoring medical advice during the early 2020s around a certain disease. You see, he locked down Melbourne more than any other part of the world. These people in Melbourne, they became his little puts the lotion on the skin, hanging out in the basement little creatures. And these guys all had Stockholm Syndrome. They supported this guy. They cheered for this guy. And he kept saying it's the medical advice to lock you down, but it turns out that's not entirely true. Bombshell document reveals the infuriating truth about the world's most draconian COVID lockdown and how Dan Andrews' stay-at-home orders were not based on medical advice. The letters outlining the former Premier's decision-making process were released following a 4.5-year legal battle which concluded this week. Victorians were forced to stay in their homes with a curfew from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. for 2 months. Why? Can we look back at that now and say that is fucking... At the time, Mr. Andrews would not disclose who conceived the idea for the lockdowns, but had conceded that these are decisions ultimately made by me. Who the fuck are you? That is fucked. You have no right to do that to people. This is not fucking China, you fuck. Victoria's current Premier, Jacinta Allen, was part of the 7-member crisis cabinet that signed off on the lockdowns too, and she's still there in Parliament in Victoria and calling the shots. That should fucking shock you. That should worry you. And the Victorian government is still saying that this was a necessary action to protect all Victorians and save lives. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is not a more important time to know that your government doesn't care about you and you shouldn't trust them, I don't know when a better time has been to fucking realise that, but you need, and if you don't believe that, you need to realise it now. Even if these people go into power, believing genuinely that they're going to do good things, absolute power always corrupts absolutely. Do not trust these people. Thank you for joining me in the newsroom, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo, au revoir. Bye-bye.